You are a priceless diamond, but the process of life is grinding you down. But I have great news for you. God is helping you to shine bright like a diamond. I mean that. Like, I know that comes from a Rihanna line, but it just resonated with my spirit and I had to share it with you. So I really want to take a moment to explain to you how great God is and the fact that He is developing you in identical order of a diamond and a pearl. Let me explain. Diamonds are one of the most priceless minerals on earth. And yet, what I want to share with you is, do you understand the process that a diamond has had to endure to be that ever-present beauty that you wear on your finger or that you wear on your neck, right? And it's this. A diamond typically is developed over a 1 to 2 billion year process. What it is carbon deposits trapped deep under the earth, which through heat and extreme pressure rises through the surface until it can be found typically in a mineral rich area like Sierra Leone and other parts of the world. But that is a process that is developed over a 1 to 2 billion year process from extreme pressure. And here's the interesting thing about the diamond. That diamond is very raw. Essentially, it looks equivalent to a translucent dirty rock, where if one doesn't really understand what it is, may actually cast it to the side, not really understanding its value. But that sounds like a lot of us, me included. But here's the thing. The diamond as we know it and as we understand it doesn't become that priceless thing that symbolizes what? Eternal love, until it is refined through a process known as cutting and polishing. See, what the jeweler does in taking this translucent rock that we call a diamond is he or she, based on its proportion, will decide, is it best suited as a princess cut, a brilliant cut, an emerald, a heart shape, a pear shape. Now, what does he or she do? They meticulously, through process and time, refine it by buffing it, grinding it, and polishing it to be the beauty that we know as a diamond. And yet the process of life, personally and professionally, is identically the same. And so what I want to encourage you in understanding is that the process and your journey is going to be very hard. It's going to be filled with a lot of pressure. It's going to be very rocky. It's going to be ugly at times. It's going to require constant cutting and buffering. What? In order to reveal the glory and beauty that is you when God created you. But will you endure the process? Will you be mindful of the journey? Let's use another example. A pearl. You know how a pearl comes into the world? A clam, right, encounters something very harmful to the clam, which is typically either a sand grind or oftentimes even a parasite. And what the clam does is it excretes a liquid that attempts to insulate itself from the pain and agony of the sand particle or from the pain and agony of the parasite. And as it attempts to comfort itself and it continues to excrete the fluid, it hardens over time to become a single pearl, but it gets better. The interesting thing about a clam is when pearls exclusively come from the same clam, it is exponentially more priceless. What does that mean as it pertains to you and I in our journey? It means this, is that it is the clam or it is the person who actually experiences the greatest amount of discomfort and pain, who will lubricate and insulate that situation to use it for their positive now becomes exponentially more priceless, like a diamond compared to a pebble, than that of other clams who've encountered very little. What I want to encourage you is this. The good book says that he will never give us more than we can bear. So whatever your ish is, whatever your situation is not beyond your ability to overcome or to excel in. But what it means is we must begin to reframe and adopt our mind to understand that everything that was ill-intended is part of what equips you and builds you for the purpose and plan that you've been called to in whatever it is you've been called to. And yet the good book tells us something very, very important. Is to think it not strange when we face various test trials and temptations. Because what? The word tells us multiple times that it is all meant for our good. Because guess what? All things work together for the good of those that love God and are called according to his purpose. The interesting thing is this. All things means all things. Good and bad. It's what the word meant in Romans 8 when it said all things. But that is a choice through understanding what the process is going to involve. It's a choice to understand that you're not a victim, but ultimately this was designed to help you to be victorious. But will you be persistent? Will you be patient? Because ultimately, as I've shared previously, it takes 5 years to figure something out. Another 5 years to get good by year 10. It takes 20 years to be great. So the process of life shows us that everything is about the journey. And guess what? To short circuit or circumvent the journey does nothing but bring chaos and destruction. Let's take an example. God has intended for a child to be developed over 40 weeks, roughly 10 months on average. But what does that mean? Is that if you want to bear a child and yet you want to become impregnated and yet you're going to try to deliver the baby at 3 or 4 months old, highly unlikely the baby survives. So too is it with your vision. It's even highly difficult beyond month 5 that the baby survive. And the chance that you deliver at month 6, what happens in 80% of cases is there are permanent, lifelong consequences to the child's developmental growth, physically mostly, that inhibits full stature and full growth outcomes. So it too is in life. So what I would encourage you is that whatever your incubation process is, for whatever it is, understand that there are universal principles as it relates to time. And ultimately, the difficult circumstances are designed for your growth and your reward. But will you trust him? So if you're finding it difficult to endure the journey, what I will say, good ma'am, good sir, is the word tells us very clearly, is we are being people of little faith. Or instead of operating in faith, which is really the patience to wait on God, I'm going to say that again. Instead of faith, which is really the patience to wait on God, means you would be wise to immerse yourself in his word and his love when you will begin to understand that this is not a death sentence. This is a process of development. Because all great things take time. There is a universal order of law to which is deemed to be in your best interest. But will you be patient? Will you be prayerful? Will you be persistent? Because if you are, you will become the diamond. You will become the pearl of which you seek. And guess what? You too will shine bright. As the developer of DeveloperNationApp, as well as CEO and real estate developer and author, I am Shaun J. Ford, affectionately known as Uncle Shaun, inviting you to click the description in the below, where if it is your vision to operate in small and large scale developments, we want to partner with you, to educate you, to equip you, to prepare you holistically in every arena of life as it relates to being the developer or real estate individual you were called to. What we will do within our community, practicing group economics, is we will bring you in front of, through our partnership, assuming your project is viable and feasible, in front of our capital partners ranging from high net worth to family office, private equity, as well as hedge fund, in order to get your project made into a reality, in order to help you too create generational wealth for your children's children. As always, like, comment, smash that subscribe button, follow us on all platforms, because all things work together for your good because you love God and are called according to your purpose. I will see you in the next episode.